All right, what's up, guys? I'm doing Deep Water, the new movie from Hulu, 20th Century Fox as well. Um, the new erotic thriller. Haven't seen these in a while because yeah, you don't see a lot of erotic thrillers these days. A story directed by Adrian Lin, who's sort of the king of those types of movies, those erotic thrillers, and it's basically about Vic and Melinda Van Allen. Those are the characters' names. Vic is played by Ben Affleck. Melinda is played by Ana de Armas. Those are the two leads, and they're a couple in a small town, and their sort of loveless marriage is sort of held together by this sort of weird moment where Melinda is very flaunty, and they sort of have an open marriage, but Melinda takes it like to a whole nother level in terms of showing it off in front of friends. She has no problem with that. And Vic is sort of at some points you think he kind of gets off at it, and then as you sort of realize there's more problems that he has with it, and so Melinda's allowed to take as many lovers as she does without sort of deserting her family, and Vic is sort of Vic realizes, I guess, how much it bothers him, and you get to sort of figure out that it's happened before, and you get to realize that there's some people that have been sort of missing or murdered, and you're sort of you're unraveling Vic's sort of complicated issues and actions. It's not that bad. I don't know why this. The early I remember seeing. I mean, it's got a 43 on Rotten Tomatoes, so that surprised me because when I watched it, it really is not that bad. I guess if you're not a fan of erotic thrillers, then yeah, this is gonna be a little. Why would you watch this movie if you're not a fan of those? But I watched it and I didn't think it was that bad. I actually thought at some moments they're really good. Um, Erotic thrillers are not really a big mountain to climb, I think, for a movie to me. There's sort of some tropes in the genre that I tend to see in many of those erotic thrillers, and I think that they all you either do it or you don't. It's not like there's like this scale where you can go so big and so small in those moments. And I think with erotic thrillers, I tend to like the ones where there's characters that you really hate, and there's discombobulated relationships within that. And yeah, you're gonna hate. I think this is one of the most hateable characters I've seen that Ana de Armas plays. She has no shame, and she sort of takes it as a game in a way. So there's a weird competitive nature about her that I found interesting, and that you dislike her most of the time. And this movie lets two movie stars duel it out. Like there's some great dialogue. There's some great sort of, there's some great scenes where like they're at the dinner table and, they invite. There's this one scene where they invite this young man who's with Melinda sort of most of the time, where she's they have a very intimate relationship, and Ben Affleck's character and Ana de Armas's character sort of go back and forth right in front of him, but in a very slick way. So I think those really hit the mark for me. And I mean, it is messy, but thrillers are going to be. There's always going to be there's going to be some messy parts with thrillers anyway. I think anyone can agree with that. I think that there's no perfect thriller, and I like the attempt here. It may be a little bit too long at sometimes. At some points in the movie, you think this is a little too dragged on. But there's a point in the movie where as soon as you get there, you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. This is an interesting story, and it's sometimes. I mean, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I think because at the end of the day, erotic fillers are not my favorite genre, but I do find them interesting because I think there's this weird sense when you're watching a movie with this sort of concept. At some points, you think, all right, this is not realistic at all. Like how would a husband be able to put up with someone like this as their wife, who's just flaunting and being incredibly obnoxious about the fact that they have an open marriage? And he's not the same. He is more reserved. He's more stoic when it comes to that. But I find that to be very entertaining. Even though it's not realistic, I think there's an undeniable sort of ability for a movie like this to really give off the sense that, like, yeah, I'm entertained. I want to see what happens, even though I know this is sort of not really plausible. but yeah, I suggest check it out. If you like those movies, if you like those actors, if you like Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, absolutely check this out. I think they both do a pretty good job. I think their chemistry can be maybe improved, but they do have some level of chemistry that I think is very tangible, and you can definitely see that on screen. Yeah, check it out. Deep Water on Hulu. Yeah, that's my review. Thanks for watching.